All right, I want an epic fight now, not an exploit.
Yeah, you're gonna get an exploit. Alright, hello, Hoogway here. I'm a Hellpoint speedrunner, and I posted the first world record. It was 43 minutes, I believe, and the game's come a long way since then. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on the way the game has grown, the way the speedrun has grown, and all of the glitches that have been discovered, of course. So many people have been a part of the growth of the game. Myself, Malkwa, Snake Mujo, Impulse87, Raikin, and of course Junglerobba. This video will be me reacting to the Hellpoint devs, Cradle Games, reacting to Junglerobba's 18-minute Hellpoint world record speedrun for any percent route. I hope you enjoy.
Hello everyone, my name is Matt Boudreau. I'm creative director at Cradle Games. We made the game with almost 10 people, so I was taking charge with all the level design, the combat, losing a lot of hair in the process. And
This is the
I'm
movement.
with Marc-André Jutra, who can introduce himself.
And you can't leave the room until you heal, so we quickly equip the heal.
The code for that game.
And then this is the movement rolling.
11 people, one designer, one programmer.
So when you don't have a weapon equipped, you have to do it in a different way than when you do have a weapon equipped. And then we plug in a code. You get a Kickstarter weapon. You get free weapons if you plug in a code there.
Yeah, but he didn't back.
Yeah, moving chat too many times. I don't know how long it took them. I think it was at least 3 or 4 years.
So we can see on the top right that he's skipping a lot of the bosses. He's only doing the main one. He's also not beating the last boss, I believe. He's just...
You don't have to beat the last boss for this.
Back. Yeah.
So the way this game works is...
there's glitch in the game.
This game is one of the buggiest games I've ever played. I love it. So the point of this game is it's actually different than normal games. You have to just you don't have to beat anything specific. You have to reach 100% of a knowledge percentage. Okay, he's picking up a key which can change the routing. So it's like having the master key in Dark Souls. So the interconnected level of this, like he just said, this lets you skip a lot of area and just go right to one of the main bosses. And you just did a fall damage cancel there.
That's after Ozzy, so that would be
The Mundus, the Disturbed. We call it Down with the Sickness.
Disturbed. The Undisturbed. Yep, that's a Disturbed song.
Yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, this roll he can do is because you swap weapons, but the roll works because you...
A lot of the animation in the game can be skipped. Like, if you're not dealing damage, you can always cancel your attack. If you're not in a iframe while dodging, you can chain it with another dodge or another attack.
Yeah, so that's how we do it. We cancel an animation, and then you cancel that animation into a roll. But what that does is actually get rid of all the lag inputs between rolls that you normally go through. So you can do it a lot.
Immune to all damage. I'm not sure if he's done it here. Probably not.
Can't do it yet. But oh, it's coming. It's the whole route.
Vexing to see people performing much better than I do. I have trouble with that boss.
That boss is the worst one in the whole run. That's why he calls it an actual boss in his splits, because that boss is really hard, actually.
Way around is he probably played the game like 100 times more than us.
I'm doing a cookie clicker next time.
You did. And then so we used to pick up this item.
So he probably lowered it.
Yeah, this is not... Also, you lower the textures because I think it helps with the timer for in-game time.
We hear Junglerobba?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he's talking a little bit.
Because usually when they do that kind of speedrun, they do it live on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see them do all that kind of stuff and talk at the same time, read their chat.
It's hard.
Make a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
So
that's
every
the
other
very
boss is
first
like
that we
basically
developed for
free.
the game back in 2015, Party Soudan. That was our Kickstarter demo. So, and the demo for the final game as well. So the players were able to see how much the game has evolved in what 5 years.
5 years since the demo came out, I guess, Jen, for you.
It's still a fan's favorite.
So this one section that he just ran through was what the demo area was.
Trying to exit that room and going back.
So what happens
It's that faster.
in this game is
it's
that
not faster because it doesn't count the loading screen.
every quit out
Counts
in this
the
game is a homeward bone.
time on
So
the save game,
this game,
which is
when you
from
quit, it
increments
resets you at the
of
last place you rested at, not where you're standing. So we use it as a homeward bone. So it's faster just to it's faster just to quit out than it is to just run away.
Very
grab
cool.
at the last second.
That's something I have problems with. That drop is
The thing
crazy.
the game has also is that a lot of the enemies are random where they are placed and what they do. So it's a bit harder for those guys to make the perfect speedrun because they never know which setup they're going to get.
Yeah, so that's what that guy just said is actually there's a big garbage pile that sometimes spawns right here in the center, and as you can see, it's
He
there.
received some damage, so he's not immune yet.
So sometimes that is not there, and you can just run right through the room, but sometimes it is there and you can't run right through the
It's
room.
like watching
Which is
the
annoying.
game being played by professional athlete.
Yeah.
I'm sweating just looking at it.
So we quit here.
He did the same thing. He got the key, reset.
Yeah, the game is amazing for being made by such a small team. I'm so glad that they got the game out when they did.
Actually, is that
I hope they make more stuff too. They have a DLC coming out.
Manage to get out of the world.
No.
You see in Doom and other game where they can glitch out of the collision.
Mario 64.
So
I think we managed to have a character that.
Oh, don't die.
I think we managed to have a character that he cannot.
What? All right, that was impressive.
Yeah, that's a crazy drop
Yeah, you know
too.
the game.
Malquo came up with that.
So yeah, he cannot. I don't think he has any.
Pretty sure
moment
Malquo was
in
the first
speedrun
person to
where
do
he
that.
gets out of bound of the world.
So it's weird. There are out of bounds spots, but they're not very useful. And you'd think with a game with jumping that you could get out of bounds really easy.
To take care of the bosses.
So this is annoying.
Fearful if you
Because you can, the way the game works
reduce the difficulty even further.
is
It's
some,
going to be easier
oh, they're gonna
to
be so
take
confused when he
bosses
uses
without
that,
getting
when he
out.
uses that glitch.
Isn't it cool?
So he's using a
Good
glitch,
strategies like
he's
that.
gonna use a glitch in a second that I discovered,
I don't think we
where
planned for
it's
it.
essentially what the cube did to get
Oh, yes.
invincibility. Whenever you cancel a warp animation, a warp will give you invincibility.
Cognition.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
cancel the
right.
warp by alt tabbing the game, but it keeps that invincibility on your character. They're gonna be so confused watching that.
So yeah, he has the two keys. He can go.
They didn't even notice it yet.
Uh,
And also, I discovered this for Ozzy as well. You'll notice there's a little bit of an issue with Ozzy's AI in this fight.
So this should take
and
a minute.
The blue magic bar is what your ammo is in this game. It's like magic. But you have
it's
infinite of
level-
it.
level
Watch
10
this.
And he's going to beat Ozzy in 1 minute. That's nuts. Yeah, I think he did some exploit because he's not using any energy.
No energy, and Ozzy's AI doesn't activate
Okay,
if you
and
stand in
he's
this spot.
staggering him like crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe we should send this to QA.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't fix this, because I love this bug. I was playing the beta.
I was
'Cause I never-
expecting an epic fight.
I never played the beta. And then I noticed this. I dropped in the room weird, and then I noticed Ozzy didn't move, so I shot him, and then I noticed he didn't ever step forward. So, if you stand in the right spot, it's not damage that activates him, but it's where you are. So he just never activates.
What's that specific exploit he's using?
Yeah, they should talk to me.
Dog is just a puppy. It's a bit excited today.
I can tell them all of it. I hope they don't fix it though.
Oh, the next one.
I think it's interesting. It's crazy how bad games can be broken in different ways too. They're all different.
So long, so he has to climb back up to Lemondis. Find all the keys. I don't think there's an exploit to bypass finding all the keys.
There's not.
The seals.
There's not, because it's a locked gate. You have to use all the seals to get through the door, unfortunately. A dev has told me that you can get hit by enough stuff at once to get through walls. It's like 3 big hits at once will get you through a wall, but there's no enemies in that spot to do it. Don't tell them anything. Yeah, I'm not going to sell out my own speedrun strats. I'd love to actually talk to the devs, though, about the game. First place, though.
Did he get the key to the Dominion?
Been a while.
I don't remember seeing him picking up that.
You get the key
right
from Ozzy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's alright.
So the way
I thought I made a great shortcut to go back to the embassy, but apparently going to the start screen is faster.
Yeah, there is a shortcut right behind Ozzy. There's a door that leads back into this area, but it's actually faster just to warp in. Because, like I said, every quit out is a homeward bone, so it takes you back to your last resting spot. This area is by far the longest split.
Happy that the game took most player over 20 hours to complete.
Very stressful.
Doing it in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a very long
At least
game.
An hour. Just for my pride.
But on the
Warp
other
you
hand,
in real
probably
quick.
Play the game more than 100 hours to get that good.
Which is humbling.
I would love if a
We're gonna go back to
dev
this
actually
area
became a
in the
speedrunner.
DLC. Did I just say that?
Wait, what do you say?
We're gonna go back to this area in the DLC. Did I just say that?
Okay. That's cool. We're going back to Arisen Dominion and the DLC that's coming out. They never said when the DLC is coming out, but they said there is going to be DLC. I'm happy about that. And that's crazy too, that they're making DLC.
To,
The 10-person studio.
show more stuff of the DLC than the new environment are insane.
Pretty badass, eh?
Yeah, the especially the ambience.
Mm.
It's
I'm so excited. Because also, that's another thing. Sorry I'm pausing this so much. Because this game, I think I didn't finish this thought earlier. You don't have to beat, like, oh, you don't have to beat Gwyn. You don't have to beat the 4 lords. You have to beat enough bosses to reach 100% data. So every boss counts for a different amount of data. The 3 lord bosses of this game just count for 33.3%. So killing all 3 of them automatically gets you to 100% data, and then you can just immediately beat the game. But since this section is so long, all these things just to get 33.3% from Nemundus and the boss down with the sickness, it might actually be faster to take the DLC route. If there's a quicker boss, like with less of these, you'll see how long this section is. It's 5 more minutes. So that's why I'm really excited for the DLC, because it'll affect the speedrun route. I'm gonna speedrun it too. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I love the routing for this game. So I'm gonna see if we can come up with good routing.
Yeah, I think that.
So it's a really interesting way of doing
I think it's
completion
better
of a
playing
game.
with the breach, where he dodged exactly at the right moment. No, he's still taking damage, so it's not an exploit. All right.
But it did fire his gun without consuming any energy.
Yeah,
Please finish it, Banana. It's so good.
that's weird.
Shield your eyes if you don't want spoilers. But
Hey,
this game
everyone,
rules, in my opinion. And for such a small dev team, it's so cool.
Oh,
I love this game.
Yeah, you can do if you time it right with the AV attack, just
That's still
before you land. The timing is insane with that one. You have to.
It's not that bad.
Attack exactly at the moment.
It's not that bad.
It's like
It's nowhere near
less than a
frame
meter
perfect.
than the floor.
It's nowhere near frame perfect. They're making it sound really.
I don't have the timing for that.
They're trying to make it
Should've
sound
hurried
hard,
and
but
tested.
it's not that bad. What do you say?
For that.
hire.
Should hire him as a tester.
Yeah, hire. They should hire speedrunners for testers though.
It doesn't bypass the dead zone.
Because we will.
The bottomless pit, so
Okay.
he still dies if he falls in.
We find all the crazy shit.
Before seals.
Yeah, Malko came up with this routing as well.
Close to dying.
He improved this routing a lot. I'm trying to figure out. There's something I wanted to try
There we go.
where, he won't turn the camera, but over here, so directly diagonally this way off the screen, if you can see where my mouse is going, over here a while is where the next key he has to pick up is. There's actually a glitch where if you activate the infinite health and you land on something that would kill you from taking too much fall damage, it'll make your character just run across the air. So, and then you don't regain control of your character unless you hit a diagonal facing thing and slide a little bit, and then it zooms in and gives you control of your character back and stops you from automatically walking. And I'm trying to come up with a way to skip this, but I haven't figured out how to make it work yet. Because this part takes like 40 seconds. And if I did it the other way, it would take like 10. It'd be a big skip. So all this would be out.
Damn, that's a lot of work. I see all that environmentally. Whoa, man. That's a long night.
I really like that you can see his input on the right, and you see he's just spamming input all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all speedrunners should play with their controller on their screen. It's really nice. I think it's very helpful for new runners learning. That drop is actually pretty scary. I've died to that a lot in runs.
And the last one.
Yeah, I demonstrated on stream trying to figure out the skip, but some of you may have seen me try to make that work.
Yeah, you know exactly
but it makes it so.
And the last one.
Let me see if I can pause it. So you walk, and then when you come in from this direction, and you'd have to hit something specific over here to gain control of your character back to then run to this. So it would, from that last one we picked up, you just jump. In theory, you would just jump, take fall damage, start walking, hit something over here, gain control of your character, and pick this up, instead of doing that whole lengthy section.
And the last one.
But we haven't been able to make it work. It's kind of like a dream skip that I would hope someday will work, but I'm not sure. And so you quit there too, just as the homeward bone thing to go back to the spot.
Randomly, that would have been...
Oh my god, were they considering that? Placing the keys randomly? That'd have been so rough.
Fun for them.
Alright, I want an epic fight now, not an exploit.
Yeah, you're gonna get an exploit.
Not sure if you're going to get that, especially with Speedrunner.
Oh, please. Don't break my boss.
Oh yeah, and then so the reason this happens is because as soon as you,
I'm not sure what happened there.
if the thing is here, like the button is here, it automatically loads your character model to be outstretched arm at that exact spot. So it'll just forces your hand in the right spot, so it pushes down your body.
Nobody likes to wait after elevators.
And then you quit to make the elevator already scroll down, like they said, to make it at the base level.
Music in the game.
Taking note.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's putting on an item that actually is the way you're supposed to warp back to bonfire things, the rifts, that he's going to use later, because you can activate it, and then it takes 4 seconds before it warps you. But if you do it while you're killing a boss, it's actually faster than...
exploit with the monolith, where he could become invincible by doing something with the monolith at exactly the right time.
Yep, so he's going to watch this.
I don't think it...
Still works.
Still there.
Still works, baby. And I found that out too. So someone on Reddit was saying the monolith still made you invincible.
I guess.
And it was really hard to figure it out. You had to frame perfect back out of it at the right when it warped you. But then I accidentally tabbed out of the game, and that's when I figured that alt tabbing also gives you the invincibility. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
yo, Banana, have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Perfect frame timing where you dodge.
Oh wait, he's talking about...
I think there's a sort of a perfect frame timing where you dodge when you're supposed to. And
Yeah, so that's what it used to be, but you just alt tab now.
Yeah, if that exploit with the money, yeah, he's immune. You see, there's already a crap ton of radiation. And
They need to fix that. There's a bug
Well,
where
cursed, but he's not
you
being
shoot, and even if you turn, your gun still shoots in the direction you were facing instead of changing it where you're looking. It's annoying. You have to dodge to fix it.
It's impossible to make. I wouldn't say a flawless game, but a game without any exploit.
So.
Oh, speedrun would be boring, I guess.
So they could have fixed all of this by not having that quality of life thing where when you're warping you don't take damage.
Speedrun, they pretty much jump all over the map.
That's the only thing.
They have a much bigger team than us.
Yeah.
Or you just have to remember the speedrun of Portal, where pretty much most of the speedrun is outside bound of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This part's also really scary. You can get killed here. You're not invincible. Every time you like go through a loading screen, so every time you quit,
but I think
you lose that invincibility.
We were clear with the speedrun community at the start when we released the game that if there was some bug that the average player would never see, we wouldn't fix them.
What did he say?
But I think we were clear with the speedrun community at the start when we released the game.
They said that
if there was some bug that the average player would never see, we wouldn't fix them if it impacts their speedrun.
Yeah, which is really nice of them.
Yeah, it's part of making a good show, I guess.
So what happened was the cube is you activate the warp with the cube, and if you were hit by an enemy, it would make you invincible. So that's how average people were getting it to happen, and people were posting about it on Reddit. Is if you got hit right around the time it was supposed to warp you, it would stop the warp but give you infinite health. And it actually happened to a big streamer. That's what popularized it, but it was actually posted about on Reddit a few weeks before that happened.
It's fun because he's using
a guy
so not the main pattern. He's almost playing the game backwards.
Yeah, this is an early area compared to the other things. A guy named Con Master on Reddit was the discoverer of that glitch. First poster, at least. So the first poster was a guy on Reddit named Conmaster, so I called it the con boost. That was his stipulation. He's like, yeah, use it for sure in your speedrun, but call it the con boost. And I was like, yep, that's what I called it. I don't think it really caught on, but it's called the con boost, technically.
So he doesn't die while being teleported.
Yeah, so also setting up with that monolith, that's why you have to do the cube warp, because the cube warp will warp you directly back to that monolith instead of the quit. And the quit will warp you back to the rift.
Why does he kill
the I missed what he said.
But the moment the teleport starts, he became immune, so he doesn't die while being teleported. And the cancel doesn't remove the immunity. So that's why he's not taking any damage by touching that monolith.
So yeah, they just left it in by accident.
Does he kill the hostess? It's a completely optional boss.
Yes, to go to Uthos.
Uthos. It gives you a key.
100% progress, right?
He's already starting. That's
what he started.
He's not really getting the teleportation. Right?
So then it starts
once you enter the building,
like right there. So then it warps you back to the monolith instead of back to the rift.
Zoomer next.
I think it's 18. This is it. I don't remember. 18 something. This is
you can feel the embrace.
So because you see how you're in this purple world, normally when you warp at a monolith, it puts you in an inverted dark world version. Oh, this place is really pretty, Jen. Yeah, it puts you in an inverted dark world version of that same location, and it's like an underworld version of it. So, that's what the monolith normally does. If you cancel the warp, it gives you all the invincibility. But the reason we use the cube is Malqua also discovered that it's technically the only wrong warp in the game. Is instead of sending you back to a rift, it sends you back to the monolith because it doesn't understand that you didn't get warped. So it puts you in the dark world version of the monolith, which is faster than going back to a rift because the last rift we rested at was by Disturbed.
Just watching the control.
And then we warp back to the monolith on the other side by not canceling this warp from it.
He still finished the teleport.
He reloaded in the underworld.
Yeah, the teleport program got him in the underworld
Say what again?
because the game thought it was already in the underworld.
Yeah. They understand what I'm saying.
Confusing the computer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world record's like 1830 or 1850 or something.
I mean, at this point, it's more an art than anything. So
Yes. I was annoyed, now I'm in admiration.
Ish.
Yeah, speedruns are really cool, so they should be happy that the games are staying alive because
It's been a while.
speedrunning
So many
community.
things I forgot.
Yeah, so he could he reach us without the Estes and the consumer?
I thought
I don't
so,
think.
Monolith.
but that's where memory fails me. Hey, that gun is something else, eh?
We're so lucky that they put in such strong weapons in the
he's
beginning of the
using
game.
grenade right now.
The grenade is insane.
Still
So,
not
but-
consuming energy.
so another thing in this
My
game,
guess is using those two optional buffs to get the 100% data.
I guess so.
so what happens in this game is
Because the three main buffs only account for 90%, I believe.
weapons.
Yeah, I think he could have skipped a big portion if he
Weapons-
used the elevator next to the hostess.
Yeah, you can skip it, but it's slower.
If
It's
I
faster.
recall
It's faster to do
correctly.
these bosses than doing what they're saying. They don't know. Weapons level up by proficiency, so the more you use a
Yeah, you
weapon,
get
the more
more
things with the
building
weapon you unlock.
Without the consumer.
So the weapon
It's
starts
a
with
matter
just
of
like
percentage.
a normal gun shooting, like a
Mhm.
laser gun shoot.
Yeah.
But then in
if
the
you
middle of the
the
disturbed
game
oh
requires-
sorry, in the middle of the disturbed fight, you unlock the grenade part. So you'll notice in the disturbed fight, he was shooting him in the head, and then as soon as he warped, a couple shots into that, he unlocked the grenade, and he quick switched to the grenade shooting, and then he just kept blasting him in the head, and it killed him like immediately. It was super fast. So we used the grenade for the rest of the run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for the viewers, the game requires you to reach 100% of data to reach the final boss,
Right.
and a lot of different action in the game give information data.
Yeah, killing enemies,
Beating
discovering
boss,
areas,
beating sub-boss,
bosses.
opening breaches.
You can- so-
reading-
So not to get in this guy's way, you can actually you can fall through the floor here if you walk into this wall too soon, like if you're holding forward to get off as soon as possible. And I've lost runs to that. This doesn't have collision. Right here doesn't have collision. You'll fall right through it. So he got really lucky that he didn't die.
reading lore, finding new enemies.
See, he was just talking about it.
That way there's no bottleneck anywhere.
You can
Everyone
hear
can
Jungle
look at the
say,
game you
"That's good that
focus."
nothing happened."
We thought it was
Yeah.
interesting.
The way this game is laid out is amazing
Yeah,
for
that's one of the thing
speedrunning.
with,
That's why I love it.
That style of game where you can just walk everywhere.
Like Dark Souls
but
1.
You always know that you're going to have some progress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, he got super lucky he didn't get the second hit. That's a
And money.
And the
Um,
minute.
a stagger that can kill you. So what happens in this game too is these monoliths are placed right outside of the main bosses. The reason they're so convenient is because they're right outside the main bosses, and those are really the only bosses we're killing. So it has to do with the game. You can like go into the monolith like underworld and then go talk and form a covenant with the main bosses. But what we use it for is just super convenient that they're just placed there because of that, but it just happens to make the speedrun way more convenient. And then also something else is the warp cancel he did for the effigy back with Ozzy. That's another way of doing the same thing that the monolith did, except it saves you from having to run to the monolith because the Ozzy one is kind of out of the way. We used to do one for this spot. Used to pick up 2 effigies, and then you do it for this spot because this area has so many enemies, and you saw that he almost died. It just made this area way safer, but he just had to be a jerk and start just YOLOing it, and use the monolith at the very end instead. So now if I ever start running this route again, I'm gonna have to do this really dangerous area and probably reset a bunch because it's not safe anymore because you don't have infinite health. So thanks a lot, Jungle.
He's still doing it because he's pretty much unlocking
Doesn't
the
need
boss.
to.
Yeah, so he could save time probably with those.
It's so funny hearing non-speedrunners say like, "Why are you doing this thing?" because they don't understand what they're talking about, especially the devs.
But I'm surprised he's still doing it because he's pretty much done.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, so he could save time probably with those. Not with Nemo in this because he was really full of radiation.
He
No.
needs to do it all over again.
They don't understand that it gives you the infinite energy. They think we have infinite energy the whole run. That's the confusion.
Maybe Tuss would kill him as well with the fire stuff.
Yeah, we're not worried about dying here. We're worried about the energy.
Walk.
We could get away with not having infinite health, but
This is not.
the infinite health just makes you be able to stand in spot. Like you can just stand in place.
Forget I said anything.
So
Yeah, but he's on fire, so if he wasn't immune, he would be dead right now.
there is something where
Especially with no point in
where right when the invincibility was starting to be put in, I was doing some testing, and I tested it in this room, and actually I got picked up and thrown onto the ground, and since you have no you have infinite health, so when your character is staggered and like in a death state but you can't die, this game does some really weird stuff. So I actually was like on the ground dead, but my character was like spinning in a circle because I couldn't be dead, and then I actually fell through the ground in this room. So I fell into like an infinite pillbox fall, and then the room was just white with all these it was crazy. It was on stream like a year ago, but nothing ever came from it. So there could be some crazy out of bounds stuff. We just haven't discovered it yet.
HP or no armor or anything. Yeah, it would be.
You don't need armor.
One shot it there.
You barely even wear armor for glitchless. Yeah.
I'm still confused about how the gun is not draining his energy.
Yeah, it's part of the monolith glitch. It gives you infinite. It doesn't give you infinite stamina, but it gives you infinite energy for some reason.
Yeah.
That's the last boss we fight. So if you notice,
And
if you can see behind his splits, right here, it says he's at 104% data. So we just reached 100% data, basically, exactly. You could cut out like one of the bosses, but you have to fight Hostess, and you have to fight the consumer big fat guy to get through it. You could, like, if you could skip it, you don't need the data, but you can't skip it, so we have to fight him. So that's why he's over 100% by like 5%, because the boss gives like 4 or 5 or something. That boss is sick. It's super, super cool.
5 years of work reduced to 20 minutes.
Sorry, Cradle Games.
Make that game. That's a long time.
5 years. Like, congrats to them, though. It is so sick. This game is so well made.
Well, like
How
2
small the
years to
team
make
is.
The game in 2 years not to go bankrupt.
Yeah, the game is extremely well made for how small the dev team is. Like, if it came out and I didn't know it was a small dev team, I mean, the only thing that you can tell it's a small dev team is the graphic quality. The graphic quality isn't even that bad. He just has it turned down really far. So if it looks kind of funky, it's just because it's turned down for frame rate sake. That's another thing that might be helping his in-game time be so much faster than mine was. Other than this new roll strat is the oh, sometimes that invader can kill you too, which is kind of scary. But we think the in-game timer, they don't understand
100% speedrun. How long it takes?
All bosses takes 58 minutes, done by our very own Malqua.
Because doing all the
but glitched, of course. Glitchless.
Probably taking a lot of time.
Glitchless all bosses, I think it's like an hour 40 because no one wants to do it. It sucks. No one wants to do it. They should just look at speedrun.com.
And completed.
So yeah, so this is a boss, but you can just say surrender. You surrender the data you've learned to the boss, and that's how the game can end. You can just get killed instead, and that's obviously faster than fighting the boss. But you can't skip this cutscene. If you actually Alt F4 during this cutscene, it like destroys your save. You like can't play your file anymore. It puts you in like a weird like black screen.
Yeah, still very impressive.
And note, the time is real time because there's no in-game timer that works consistently.
So yeah, that's...
Yeah, everybody go follow Junglerobba, our very own.
Before the end of the year.
Junglerobba is awesome. Very, very nice person. Super sick runner.
Had a lot of challenge. Yeah,
And the game's like
currently
always on
a
sale.
60%,
Definitely pick it
sale
up
on
if
Steam,
you're interested in Souls-like games with
for
really
another
deep,
week, I believe. And
really
there's,
deep level
also
design.
Stadia,
Then definitely pick this
and
game
the
up. It's super
next-gen
good.
version is coming. And thanks IGN for having us. That was awesome.
Yes, thanks so much. It was great.
All right, so that was Hellpoint. Any percent, 18 minutes 57 seconds by Junglerobba. Super sick.